Hello, everyone. We're here for another episode of Soul Conversations, and today I'm with a dear friend, Gina Marie. Hi, Gina. Hi. Gina is a relationship and sex coach and overall health and wealth advocate. So we're going to have a casual chat today about whatever comes into flow. But to start with, I really want to dive into sacred womb clearing and healing, if you're open to that, Gina, because that's something that I've been exploring in the last 7 days and so much has come up for me. So I'd love to chat to you about that, because my experience has been pretty full on. Within a day of focusing my attention on my womb, like I've had so many memories, even past life stuff. And the past life stuff I kind of just took lightly, but the emotions that came with it, and like after the first day, just feeling so much heaviness in my body that I could barely walk, and so much depression that just came over me out of nowhere for 2 days after doing these meditations. So I feel like every woman should tap into this, because I can feel how much it's released. Like I've had dreams about boyfriends from 10 years ago. Like it's been pretty epic. So what's like, can you explain womb healing or clearing, however you would describe it?
Sure. I mean, from my experience and my take from it, anytime we take an energy, even like it could be like energetic energy from someone, or they're physically entering us as a woman, and that it registers in our body. Like we have to process through it all, and it can stay with us. So I really found, in my life, like really beneficial to actually do regular clearings often. I mean, even if I'm walking out on the street, because everything's so connected. This is like our place of power, right? Our womb and our womb wisdom, and there's such a well and depth of wisdom there that we have been conditioned to cut off from our power. And when we start to access it again, there, things can come up, and you can feel, a wide range of emotions. For example, for me, I recently was doing this breath work on a retreat, and the breath we were doing at the womb, we focused on the womb that day. And then the next day, like I started to feel, I had the same thing where like different people's names popped in my head, different men. And I was feeling, I had this like experience of like extreme bliss. And then I went into this deep well of sadness, but I didn't let my emotions like rule me. I just was with them and felt them. It wasn't like it took over my whole entire life, but it was a process for a couple days afterwards, where like one morning I woke up at 4 a.m. I was like, and I just started to cry, and just like this big release. So I don't think there's anything like good or bad about it. It's just something that I think is, could be like considered a necessary toolkit.
Yeah. Why do you think women cut themselves off from their womb?
I mean, who knows? I mean, so many different reasons. One could be, the conditioning that we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
And we cut ourselves off from our power. I'd say that would be like a big one. And also like our sexual energy is the most powerful energy we have. And so depending on what happens when we're younger, when we're little, we create a whole story around that in our energy body, and also just in our, it could be in our head too. So I think it all depends on that, but most times there's some sort of sexual stressor that will happen in most of our lives. And there's sexual trauma, which is when you're like actually afraid for your life, and then there's a stressor that can actually cause, I mean, maybe you're 12 years old and you liked a boy and he didn't like you back, and then somehow you cut yourself off from like that energy, and then you live your life that with that, carrying on into your adult life, into your future relationships. I mean, it could be something as simple like as that, or it could be something really traumatic where actually you were, sexually abused or raped. So in my opinion, there's like many variables to it, and
Yeah.
we're alive, we're living,
Yeah, that's so interesting, about even just having a boy when you're 12 reject you and that holding space in your womb, because I've now I'm just going to be like, go straight into the personal. Like I I for years wondered whether something had happened to me, because I was getting pain during sex and just closing off very quickly. And I thought, and I had boyfriends say to me, had something happened to you? And I didn't have any memory of anything happening. And I've dived deep into that. And I think that I did see something when I was younger, something happened to a friend, like that's come up into my awareness, through just keep asking about it. And it's been shown to me, but I also have never really looked at it that way, that it could be as simple as being rejected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Home, or and also we're not really taught about our sexual power or sexual energy when we're younger, when we're first discovering and exploring, middle school, high school. So the education, at least we get in the States, is like, okay, condom,
yeah.
So.
And also I feel when I was doing this practice, and it was really simple meditation, is that I had done other work before. Like I had been working with the jade egg, and I had done some basic tantra exercises, but I realized I wasn't fully focusing on my womb, which probably is the core teachings of everything else. But for some reason, I wasn't clicking. I wasn't bringing awareness. So it's like the moment I brought awareness to my womb, it shifted so much. So, I wonder how women probably are just not even aware. Like the women that are in their masculine quite a lot and in everyday corporate life and all of that, they just have no awareness of that area, and it being a source of life and a creator. That's what kind of really blew my mind. I was thinking, wow, I've cut myself off from creation. Like, and when I wrote that down in my journal, and I was like, whoa. It's like I manifest a lot through heart chakra and, heart space, but my goodness, I wasn't really fully connecting to the source of life.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
The source of life. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. It was really exciting to touch on this stuff, which is why I think every woman should be really looking at this, because like I've literally gone to every woman I've run into in the last week, I'm like talking about it, whether they want to hear about it or not. But a lot of women are really fascinated, and even a couple of guys that I've spoken to, a couple of my gay guy friends, they're like, I want to work on my womb space. And I'm like, I wonder what the equivalent for men is. Is there an equivalent for men?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what, but I would say there is a womb space. I mean, I have a friend who he studied a lot of this. I'd have to ask him. He'd be a good one to talk to about it, because he knows his womb very well. And also he studied, he speaks about that men have a clit in a G spot in his cervix.
Oh wow.
Not in the way
the same way. Yeah.
But he studied this for the last 20 years, and so I'd have to ask him. But
wow.
from what I feel from being around him and what he expressed, he speaks of it like the men's womb. Well, I mean, if you really feel into it, it's like the depth, the well, right?
Yeah.
So of course the men have it.
Yeah.
The only difference is we can have, we can, like, a child grows inside of us, and but they still have that. I mean, if you really tune into it, I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, I guess it could be the energetics of like their creation as well. Like they're creating life as well, so they're partnered with that. So the energy in that area for them would feel the same, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's like cultivating life just in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
creative energy. And, really like the whole journey of the hero's gamos, the masculine, feminine, there really is no different, like it's energy, energy. So we're all one and the same. Same.
Yeah. So how do women tap into their womb space and clear it on a regular basis? Because I was talking to my girlfriend who sent me this meditation series, and I'm obviously doing it through like a guided meditation. But my friend said, because she's doing lots of different practices, she said, well, how do we incorporate this in our daily life? Because it feels like this checklist of like all the things that you need to do. And that's what stops people, right? So what are some quite easy ways or simple ways, everyday ways we can tap into this?
Something that's really simple is to take 3 deep breaths and to inhale. And when you inhale, you stick in your belly out through your nose. And then just exhale through your mouth. And you would just take 3 deep breaths and really tune into this area and to your womb space. And then have an inquiry and ask a question. Speak to your womb, and ask, like, what's the message for me today? Like, ask your inner wisdom, what can I do to support you? How can I support you in clearing? What do you need? And actually have a conversation and allow that wisdom to come from that space. That just takes a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then there, like, I really feel it's like for each of us to feel empowered in our own, conversation with our womb and our bodies and our inner wisdom.
Do you think women's intuition comes from the womb?
I'd say it comes from anywhere.
Yeah.
But like the womb, yeah, I mean, they say like listen to your gut. That is quite powerful, but I mean, for me, I can, personally, everyone is an individual journey, and how we label it is so different. But for me, it's like a lot of times it's tapping into my heart and that place of stillness deep inside my heart, and at the same time connecting to my womb and connecting to the center of the earth, and then the top of my head like opening up to the heavens. So it's
all
it's all connected. But definitely this is important. Be aware of this place. I mean, even now, just having this conversation with you, and I'm touching my womb. I don't know if you guys see, but I'm touching, and I feel different. My voice feels different. I feel very present with you, and just us, just bringing awareness to tuning into our womb and saying, "Hey, we're gonna listen to you. We're here. We're working together. I see you." It makes a whole difference. And so, yes, if we can walk through the world like leading from this place and leading from in our bodies, it's a whole different ballgame. Because we're not meant to be ahead as women. So if we can actually just take those 3 breaths, ask our womb. Sometimes I speak to my ovaries because I realized, like, wow, I've never really had a relationship with my ovaries.
Yes.
Uterus. And I'll be like, hey guys, what's happening? And, or hey goddesses. What's happening? Beauty. It makes a difference. Wow. I mean, this is so important I'm so grateful you're bringing this up.
Yeah. It's the ovary thing, because I just started doing through the meditations, like every day is like a different thing, and they're just short. But a couple of days ago, we started breathing energy into one ovary at a time, and we pretty much had to speak to it or listen. And I just kept getting this let go of the fear. And I realized, like, because, as women, as we're getting older as well, like my story is wanting to have a baby at some point, and getting older, there's a lot of fear there that it's not going to happen. And so I when I was tapped into that energy, it was like I could feel how alive my ovaries were. I could feel the difference between my left and my right ovary as well, which is quite interesting. My left one was a lot more active and felt like clearer and lighter, whereas the dark felt like there was stagnant energy around it. But I could just hear my ovaries saying, let go of the fear, let go of the fear. It was almost like I was suffocating my ovaries with this fear around not being able to have a baby.
Yeah, because they're, you know, we're all connected. That's
Yeah.
beautiful that you heard that.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just saying, "Hey, I got you, you know, we're
Yeah.
working together."
Yeah. They're like, we're still going, we're still young. It's like, don't write us off, you know. But I imagine that a lot of women either are not paying any attention, or they've got the negative story, whether they go through pain, you know, physical pain with their period, or they feel discomfort or annoyance. Like, we probably put a lot of crap on our ovaries.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot there, right? If we've never been in communication with our ovaries and our whole womb space. So when, yeah, like just think of that. It's like a part of our body that we don't even pay attention to a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then when we start to like bring some awareness to it, of course, there's going to be a lot of emotions being released. You know, deep wells of whatever it is that needs to come to move through, to come out. And the only way in it is through it. So by actually connecting to your womb, you're going into your feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. And releasing. And that's what,
let them release, and for you to pop through in whatever way is perfect for that timing.
yeah. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. It's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It blows my mind how much wisdom there is there. And like, one, how we hold on to so much stuff. But two, when you bring awareness to it, it is quite easy to release and be shown. Like, your body takes care of you. Your intuition takes care of you.
Yeah. That's so beautiful to remember that. It relieves a lot of the pressure of the everyday life and being busy and creating this and that. Like when we tune in from this place and we leave this place, and then it's the landscape that we are able to create is completely different.
Yeah. And do you use this energy for creation, manifesting?
Oh yeah, I do. And I also, you know, I'm guilty of being in my head or getting my, you know, the conditioning and having to work through it. But this is like a big part of my, you know, my work and my daily. Even if I'm, you know, busy, just spending 5 minutes just connecting to my body and myself can shift the whole day. The other day, it was like 2 weeks ago, my girlfriend was here, and she's done a lot with the womb, and she's like, oh, she's done yoni steaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so we took a Palo Santo, which is, you know, from South America. It's a bark, right?
I don't know what that is.
And we actually did like a whole like cleansing, and I actually did heat right at the entrance of my, well, I like to say pussy, but
Yes, pussy is fine.
We say yoni, but at the entrance there, and I just allowed the smoke to cleanse me. And it was such an incredible sensation because it was right there in like the heat and just like letting the smoke. And that was like a really powerful ritual. And we did a meditation in that, and that took 15 minutes. My day was completely magical.
Oh, wow.
I was in New York, you know, walking on the street, connecting with people, just really felt deeply connected to myself. And I was able to get a lot done. So, I mean, I was able to actually, you know, create from that place and take care of things that, you know, took thought and like a little bit more like of the masculine approach of things. But that practice really supported me in the rest of my day.
Oh, wow. So is it a particular herb that you have to light, or you can use anything? Can you use sage?
You can use sage. You can use Palo Santo. I mean, I think anything that, you know, cedar, frankincense.
You know, I'm going to go do that now.
But you don't want to get too, you know, if it's hot, you want to make sure, because that skin there is very sensitive.
Yeah.
So you want to
If I have an injury, I won't call you.
But I think, there's so many little things we can do on a daily basis. Even just those 3 breaths, just tune in and shift things. The whole point is how to create things that are accessible.
That
when
don't take a lot of time.
Then we don't, at least, sometimes people won't do it.
Yeah. And I found just one of the exercises we do is just imagine a flower in your womb as well, and then just see the roots going into the earth, Mother Earth, and then seeing the flower look up to the light. So I find that really grounding as
That's
well.
beautiful.
And, it just keeps you really centered.
Yeah. That's really beautiful.
So one thing, talking about like finding, simple things that people can do every day, I'm a big fan of the jade egg, but this is where I feel like I don't stick with it and I'm not consistent because of it feels like this practice that you need to create space and time for. Are there any ways we can use the jade egg and make it like simpler, or I don't know what the question is, but how can we bring that into our everyday?
Like, how long is the practice that you do?
I was doing it last night actually, and I probably did give it 20 minutes, but I feel like even that sometimes, because it's something that you are putting inside of yourself, that I don't always have to like okay, come on, you need to do it kind of thing. Where it's not like meditating where it's just like quick 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it can vary for different people. I know that for me, putting on good music and just, creating a whole experience from that is really supportive. And this morning, I had a busy morning, and so I actually put the jade egg inside of me and was running there.
Yeah, I've done that before. So I've heard a few mixed things about that. I've heard teachers say that that's perfectly okay, and then I've heard people say that you shouldn't do that. And I imagine that's for people that are just beginners, because then some people aren't doing it. Like I have a girlfriend she just does that. She puts it in, walks around, and I've heard teachers say you need to be doing the exercises, not just walking around with it. Is that true?
I would say that doing both is I mean, it depends on you. Like I haven't really done that before that often where I'm like, I'm just going to put this in, but it was something called me to it. So I really think it's listening to our bodies and listening to what is going to nurture us the most that day.
Yeah.
And I knew that my cleaning lady was here and I wasn't going to have in my studio apartment in New York. She'd be cool. Sure, but that's just what called me, like, oh, put this in,
Yeah.
And I think it's important to I do love to spend the time with the jade egg and give it really deep respect and honor to the process because it is a powerful practice. And
how often do you think we should do it?
I don't know. I mean, some people do it quite a lot. I don't really know.
Yeah, just tune in.
What do you feel?
I feel like it's something that I should be doing at least a few times a week, 3 or 4 times a week, just to get into the practice and to strengthen the muscles. I feel like at this stage, I need to be doing it regularly, and then I possibly could do it less often. But I feel like I need that, but it just comes back to that commitment. So it's prioritizing it, I guess, over other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, if that's what calls you, like a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And really creating a relationship with the jade egg.
Yeah.
And yourself. And it's the same like anything. If you're on social media, you're on like having a relationship with that. Like, so just like that's, or whatever your work, it's carving out that 20-30 minutes.
Yeah. I should see it as my lover. Because if I'm saying I don't have 20 minutes for a jade egg.
Your lover showed up at your doorstep. He's like, hours.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't do this. And that's the first time I've had that awareness, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Like it's like another relationship.
Yeah, I haven't really thought of it like that. I just realized we're talking about the jade egg without even explaining it. So if there's people watching it, do you want to explain what the jade egg is?
Oh, I should get mine. The jade egg is a practice. It's a Taoist practice, and you insert an egg inside of your vagina, and through different. You also do you start it with a breast massage and just kind of getting your body ready, and you insert it, and it's known to like purify, to strengthen your muscles. And I feel it can also clear like past levers, energies in your body, and it's very healing and healthy, and it also can get your juices flowing. And for me, I feel it really connects me to my body and my sensuality, and I feel very empowered when I use the jade egg.
Yeah, people notice the difference.
Many courses, you can there's like online courses if someone's really interested in it that you can buy and do like I think 6 weeks or 3 months, and then you'll learn like the whole practice and the whole series of how to really incorporate it in your life.
Yeah, it's definitely worth learning how to use it through either a course or a book or something. I learned.
And sure you get a really good quality jade egg.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah.
To get it from Canada.
Yeah. And how long should we have them for a long time? Because I've had my jade egg for a couple of years now, and I'm like, should I be getting a new one?
I mean, they can last.
Okay. I was wondering about the energy of it, like whether it had absorbed different energy.
Well, I think the beauty of the jade egg is it's purifying. It actually can take it and like release it. I don't think it's holding on to anything.
Yeah.
And also, you can clean it.
Yeah.
If you really are concerned about that, even put it with water and salt water. I don't even know what the salt. I do salt with my crystals, so maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the same, but and also it's like up to you. Like if you're feeling, I've had this for a couple years, maybe there's a bigger egg that you're ready for, or actually a smaller one.
Smaller one.
You start off bigger, then you can go to smaller, or maybe it's a jade. There's jade wands. Yes, that's been in my awareness to get a wand. Yeah. Yeah. So then, okay, and just like listening to it. So if you're having that thought, okay, tune into your body, and maybe your body's saying, okay, I'm ready for the smaller egg now, or I'm ready for the wand. Yeah. 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 What are other tantra exercises that you would highly, highly recommend that you think women should be completely tapping into? Shaking practice. Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah. Necessarily consider like tantra, but yeah, that's something like a shaking practice. When animals have fear, or they after they get washed, they shake. And I think that's really important to just shake things and shake off the day. So that's something that is very important, even just 5 minutes a day. I remember I was really doing a lot of shaking. I was flying back from Bali, and I went into the bathroom, and I was like, I just felt like I had to. So I'm like shaking in the little. I was like, if people could just watch my life. But the shaking practice, and also doing this Dokshin meditation, which is an open eye meditation, and that's focusing on a point and outside of yourself, and just being really present with that. I find really important because it trains yourself to be present with your eyes open. And a body scan where you tune into your body and you just you scan your body and you feel like where you feel some tightness or you something and what would be tightness or your nervousness or different sensations, and then tuning them in and speaking to those sensations and getting the message from there. And then that's something the practice I really love, and then to have these parts of me integrate. Just say, no, it's okay. Creating that. What else? The breath. I mean, breath work is so potent, so powerful.
Did you just come from a retreat mostly doing breath work?
We did 5 days of the breath work. Like an hour or two of sessions a day. We did other things too. And yeah, the breath work's been coming strongly for me in the last year. And that's been, I've had some really powerful experiences or transformations from doing the breath work.
And is it different techniques or it's just?
Yeah, there's different, there's, some popular ones that people do, or like the holotropic breath work, or there's this, I think it's called bliss breath work, or body of bliss, and the biodynamic breathing. And so yeah, there's different types of breath work that are really powerful. Oh, the Wim Hof method is something that, he's got a Vice documentary, and that's another method. And I feel like maybe they stem from a similar place, but then people add their own inspiration.
Are they used for different things, for different ailments or anything, or you just try different ones?
Well, they're I mean, in my opinion, they're there to like, move energy. So however someone gets there, they get there.
And is it just the really, really stuck energy that's in our DNA and moving it through the body?
From my experience, it's been just, there's places like really deep places that have like lodged energy that have been moved, and then there's also been some more superficial experiences. And sometimes I think too, like it's all for like it's all wherever what you're ready for.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's ready to just be in complete bliss, and another time it's complete bliss but then deep sadness.
Right.
And it's so unique. Like each breathwork experience or session is just, you never know.
Would you use that, like, for instance? Sorry, did I cut you off?
That's okay.
So for instance, if I was doing the womb clearing stuff and all these emotions were coming up and I was feeling really, really down, would I use a particular technique for that to move that sadness out of my body more?
I wouldn't say, oh, you're going to use this technique to use that sadness, but, and I'm not like an expert on the breath work, but from my take, there's different focuses you can use with the breath. And so, for example, there's a breath work you can focus on, like the womb or the pussy breath, or something like that, and then that might dislodge more emotions in that area. But I wouldn't. Wait, I lost my train of thought. What was your question?
What was my question? Would I use a particular breath work to move the sadness out of my body if I was clear? Yeah. But I just want to know what the pussy breath is now.
Well, I mean, I would say like the breath work that I'm speaking of is using inhaling and exhaling through your mouth, and using connective breath. So just allowing your breath to keep going.
Yeah.
And then putting in, like, if you want to be more relaxed, you would just inhale and exhale through in your belly. If you want to have more energy, you would inhale more in your chest. And if you want to balance, you would inhale both, or inhale and exhale in your belly and your chest.
Yeah.
So there's different types of ways you can breathe. I mean, I have a friend who his he does this breath work where you inhale and exhale through the mouth, and then you do that for, I don't know, quite a while. It always feels like forever in the beginning. In the beginning, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I sign up for? And then he teaches breath lock, where you hold everything, you relax your body, but you hold your breath, and then you exhale.
Oh yeah.
And so that's one technique that I've done. And another one doesn't use a breath lock, but you do the connective breath, inhaling, exhaling through your mouth, and just focusing on a place in your body and inhaling and exhaling. And then you get to a certain point where your body will start to move, and then it's almost like the breath is breathing you. So yeah, there's different techniques that people use, but they're feels similar. As to me, it's been felt like a similar thing.
And I find breath, like when I have shallow breath, I notice how I'm not allowing life, or I'm not fully receiving. So I'm trying to learn to breathe deeper, but even really into that womb space, and you know, I guess what you would call the pussy breath, which I don't know if I'm fully expanding my breath as far down as that. But are there any good techniques or things to be aware of when you're trying to breathe deeper into your lower chakras?
I think a lot of it's awareness, bringing awareness there, and then also, you expanding, or when you inhale, your diaphragm's pushing downwards. Just imagining that, using imagery, and then I think that's really important, using the imagery of what's actually happening inside as you're breathing, and that awareness.
Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff, really, when you think about it, but it's what so many people have lost sight of or touch of, or they're not experiencing.
Breath is life.
Yeah.
Each breath is a privilege.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege to breathe.
Yeah.
Just remembering that is a gift.
Yeah. And bringing presence to every breath. So for women that really want to awaken these parts of themselves, and they're in relationships with partners that aren't as awakened, how do you suggest, have you ever come across that when working with people? How do you suggest women bring this into their relationships?
Well, first they have to bring it into themselves fully and embody that work and do their inner work and shift the inner landscape, and be very, very careful not to project on their men, or not to make them feel that there's something wrong with them if they're not doing that. And like really, and for her to, each woman to really own her path. I think that's a really important first step. Because we can't change somebody else.
Yeah.
We can inspire our partners by our inspiration. And we can suggest to them this, let's try this, that. But if we're coming from a place of making them wrong, it's not going to happen. Or it could, but he's not going to feel empowered, and then you're not going to feel empowered, and then it's going to be a downward. It could be a downward spiral downward.
Yeah.
I think that as women, it's really important that we bring our power into our bodies and know that it's not okay anymore to make the men wrong, or to want them to be something else. But by our inspiration, they can get inspired, or, we can suggest, hey, let's do these practices together. But if they say no, then okay, they say no.
Yes. And it's such a sacred practice to do by yourself anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine well, I think I've heard stories. I'm losing my voice now. I've heard stories of like women who are in their 60s using the jade egg or another practice, and all of a sudden their husbands are chasing them around going, what are you doing different? And they've just got that little sparkle about them, so the men can't help but want in.
Like, I want that.
I notice that I get that whenever I'm really connected to my body and making time for the practice. It's like the attention that you get from everyone, not sexual attention, but just people coming, like you, it's like you're so open and you're so magnetic that people start complimenting you on something. They're like, oh, I love that top. And it's like, I've worn this top every, 3 times this week. You become a lot more magnetic in that sense.
Yeah, that's great that's great what you were saying about these women, that the men start women that the men are.
Which, and that is another point perhaps we should touch on, is that some women don't do this practice for that reason as well. And I know this has been my block over the years, and I've moved through this, but it's like the fear of being too desirable or attractive, or they're in fear of their sexual energy, their sensual energy even. So how do women feel safe within this?
To feel safe within their own practices,
I guess within their own sexual energy and their magnificence and their radiance and their sparkle.
I mean, the what came to me just now was creating support around you and really communicating with other women and inviting them, in to support you as you're awakening your fire and your sexual power, and creating, circles and sacred circles, and really being in communication with women. I find that to be really powerful, because as you're going through the experience, you can have someone to reflect your experiences to. And also the way that there's this one thing, like back in the day, the women, when a lot of times what the women would do is, really, hold on, I have to talk. Excuse me. In the maybe 40s and 50s, they would have something coming up around their husbands or in their life, and they'd call the woman over and they'd sit around the table and just talk and speak to each other and talk. So when they had to show up for their children or their husband, they weren't bringing all that baggage. And I got really inspired from that, thinking, oh, create women that are SOSs in your life. Like when you, okay, so I say, Lynn, Anna, Diana, will you be my, support sisters and SOS? So if I am going down this like sinkhole, or I'm, feeling afraid of my sexual energy, or I'm making my husband wrong, can I call upon you? And if they say yes, you say yes. So no matter what the time or day, you have access to that. And I feel that then our consciousness can relax, and then we can tap into and tune into our power and our sexual power and live from that place. So that's one thing I would say, like, create support. And then also, just really having conversations with your inner guidance and your womb and your ovaries and your uterus. Listening to your body, listening to them, and taking time to slow down.
Yeah.
Just walking by a flower, just stop and look at the flower. Breathe it in, connect to your breath.
Yeah, that's powerful. I was thinking, I had that experience when I had the first day of doing the womb clearing, and I had depression come up, or it was like 2 days in, and my girlfriend that sent me the course, she just said to me, oh, do you want to do the meditation together? Because she knew I was a little bit scared to continue on. and we just jumped on Zoom and we meditated together, and that felt really great because it was like girlfriends just supporting each other in the stuff that was coming up. But that's what I want to cultivate more of too, because I think especially with men, yeah, when we put so much on them, or we're going through our triggers and that it only gets projected onto the men, it's not great for them. We can't hear them, and it doesn't feel amazing to us as well. So I think it's so important. So how, I guess I was going to say how, I don't want to ask that question. I don't like asking how questions. Just catch myself. Just be open. Be open. But there's so much amazing. The more I dive into this work and just explore it, and I'm such a beginner, is that when I see and I hear about these women groups as well, and having a circle, and you know, these sacred temples where women are coming together and doing body work on each other, like, it's so beautiful and it's so pure. And you know, I think that this is the roots we need to get back to.
Yeah. And also, you know, just to, you said that you're so beginner, but my question to you is, are you really?
Compared to others, probably not.
Yeah, but I don't think any of us are
yeah.
a beginner, because it's tuning into that inner wisdom and that power that's there, that's innately there.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, what your background is, every woman on the planet has access to that.
Yes. Yeah. Remembering her, as your group is called, isn't it?
Yes.
Remembering her. And it's so, it is easy to tap back into it.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel the more that we're empowered as women, then we'll stop emasculating the men. You know, we need the men too. We got to work together here.
Yes. Yeah. And I loved what you said as well, about how when you tapped into the energy, I can't remember now if you were talking about the jade egg or what practice, or the steam, or the clearing, is that you were also tapped into the masculine, because I think that's why some women don't fully get into the feminine practices, and I being one of them. Like I avoided the womb stuff for a long time, because I was like, oh, that's just for those real feminist people, and like, it's like I'm all about like the fusion of masculine and feminine. But that's the myth, that these practices, if you get really into feminine, that you can't get things done. It's like they actually ignite that creativity so that you can then go and do the productive things. Yeah.
I mean, that's been my experience.
Yeah, mine too. I think definitely, like, just the creative juices that it cultivates help me to like move forward in work and all of that.
It creates, I mean, for me, it creates more confidence because I'm in my body.
Yeah.
And then I can move through my day and my life in that way.
Yeah.
And before I got deeper into, got into these practices, I was definitely like, felt like more out there, and bringing it out there, and when you bring it in and you do these practices and you bring it into your body, then, I mean, I've said this about 100 times, so I just keep repeating it because I think it's so important. But like, being here and like being, wow, what a gift this is. This breath, and like, okay,
And for people that are quite spiritual as well, like, this has been my experience, and this is the reason I started getting into these practices, is that my higher chakras are so open, and I spent my life since I was a kid not being in my body, and I had a lot of illness as well, and I think that I was just not grounded for so long, and it created havoc in my body. So like, coming into these practices actually ground you down so that you are then open here, and then lower chakras.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So where can people find you, Miss Gina Marie, if they want to work with you?
It's breakthroughwithginamarie.com, or you can type in btwginamarie.com.
Awesome.
And my Instagram is GinaMarie114, and my Facebook is Gina Marie.
And you have, is your group still happening, going?
I have a group with Monica Nataraj, and it's called #RememberHer 30 Days with Your Inner Goddess. And we are about to launch that again, and then offer a group coaching program for women, all going very deep into these practices.
Yeah. Amazing. And do you work with people one-on-one?
I do work with people one-on-one.
Both men and women? Or just women?
Men and couples.
Awesome.
And I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the group work, and I love the one-on-one work. And I one-on-one work is in person or through Skype.
Yeah. And you're in New York most of the time?
I'm in New York and Los Angeles. I split both and wherever else in the world.
We're citizens of everywhere. That's the dream.
But I'm plugged in wherever I am. I have the internet.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for the chat. We'll sign off there. And there's so many things we could go into, but we'll leave it there for now. And I really encourage people to find something that we've spoken about and commit to that, whether that be the breath work, whether that's just the awareness within the womb, whether that's, bringing breath work into the womb, or whether that's steaming your vagina with
or there's vaginal steam. You can Google it, vaginal steam.
Yeah. Or saging everything. And just hit either of us up if you have questions. If you are on my page and want to connect with Gina, you can just message me as well and I'll connect you. So thank you.